Hi everybody, Toxic Kevin here today for a very toxic Thursday. Now I'd like to reiterate, we were all there at some point, right? Being a complete scrub, not knowing how to play Striker to its fullest potential. But by the time this video goes up, it's probably Thursday, and today is Toxic Thursday, so you get Toxic Kevin. This is the first of our, what basically you should not do if you're playing Striker, right? Again, no bully, but we got Ash, we got Ghost Belly, one Ray, one Peter Griffin Rider, one Cosmic Cyclone. They engage, always ash it, right? Ash it, ash it, ash it. If they go into Red Ray to go back to engage, that means they wasted their Red Ray essentially to search for whatever. And remember that Ghost Spell, very underrated card, says no to it. So they set it face down. Immediately, if you've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh as long as I have, you can probably, have a very, very good idea of what the set could be. It's probably not called by because they would have negated the Ash. So our choices are probably Imperm and or Widow Anchor. But here's another pro tip, right? I almost never ever set my Widow Anchors because they can just get like, destroyed by afterburners or back removal like we play with Cyclone. So I almost never do that. Right, pro tip. Because you're going to use Widow Anchor to steal on your opponent's turn anyways. Right? So we're going to double dip. We're going to be a greedy Gary. Remember to have Maxi, we just chain call by. So we attack for 2. And then also, when you're playing the mirror, always send Rosie O'Donnell. That should be your #1 priority besides Ray. Number 2 should always resolve engage as much as you can. And number 3, of course, set up multi-roll. So we're going to set that. You're going to chain Widow Anchor. So now they have 3 cards. Remember, Striker is all about card advantage. And it looks like they don't have a Ray or starter card. They're just going to set. Here's what you should never ever do if you're playing Striker. Even if you brick. Unless you know you're going to die with 5,000 life points, right? That's still not, death range. Unless they think that we're top deck and then summon a tuner, Hawk 5 blah 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 blah. But they probably have a bunch of hand traps that can stop us, right? Because if there were something like, Widow Anchor or things that you can chain to or back row, probably would have set it, right? But you should never ever set a card in the main monster zone unless you know like you can survive 1 more turn, right? Because if you do that and you just top deck, let's say like engage or whatever, you can't activate it now. And the only way you can get rid of that, I guess, is going to Link 2, but then you wasted your normal summon and it should have been a Ray or whatever, right? So the only out he has for this is to summon a Ray, or I guess, tuner if he wants to go Hawk Vibrex. But we have Ghost Spell, so we draw Maxi too. And remember, just summoning Access Code Talker is not Gam, because that's 53. You can do free damage. Don't even bother setting this, because we know it's probably a hand trap, right? If it's Veiled, you probably should hold on to that. So it's probably a hand trap. That's 1800 defense. We attack that, we lose 300 for no reason. No point. Right? Just do your thing. Send an extra afterburners because I have the extra. I'll play second copy. Send that. We can easily search that with the engage. They're going to Ash. Here's another 200 IQ thing you should always do. If you have a feeling or you want to guarantee your engage search from Blu-ray goes off, hold on to your call by, right? Because that's going to guarantee it goes off, right? Because let's say it doesn't, right? It goes through anyway, so you don't need to call by. That's fine. Now the Maxi on the next turn, you have something to answer your Maxi with, or their Maxi with. So, or if you feel it, right? So of course now we banish their Ash. They don't have a Ghost Spell like us because we're 200 IQ. Sorry guys, I still have a cough. We're gonna search for Angag, of course. And we almost have 3 spells engraved, so pretty good. And now it looks like they break hardcore. So it's Token Collector, hilarious. You can go for Ash, we can chain Maxi preemptively. Gonna chain Cross out. You have to one-off. I don't have any disagreement with Cross out, but I feel like for Striker, if you're not playing, like unless you're a combo deck, I feel like you don't need to play Cross out. Right? That's just my opinion. You're gonna go Hulk, sure. Remember, Ghost Spell says no to Celine, if they are playing that. So there's Celine, Temp, Chain, Ghost Spell. And again, it's not Gam, right? It's not Gam. It's 53, and they're only at 35, right? Or we're at 8,000. Something just Access Code Talk, sure, clear 2 monsters, right? But at the moment, they can only pop 1 and then 2. So 1, 2, we still have a Ray. They attack it, we summon Yellow Ray, doesn't even matter, right? So we Ghost Spell that. Right? That's going to resolve, of course, because they don't have to call by. Go battle phase. Again, another rookie mistake. If you're playing against the mirror and they have a blue Ray, don't ever attack it. And then, unless you have a way to get rid of the Ray, right? Because now he did that, or they did that. My Ray's gonna come out. I'm gonna summon another blue Ray, search for another engage, and then that's basically probably GG. Right at this point, we can probably fast forward because I think you guys have, and they just quit. See, all right. I think I was pretty toxic, right? But we've all been there. We've all been there. It's okay, but you just need to get good. All right, on to the next one. Hi everybody, Toxic Kevin back here, and this time we're playing, I would say, a good. You'll see. I won't spoil it, but good. Would you Ash? Would you Water Lady, Hornet Drone? Would you Shark Cannon and 1 Imperm? Of course, we lost Arrow going second. Bush Bear. Remember, don't Ash that. Ash the Water Lady, or if you have to, Ash the Fateful Adventure, so they can't search Peter Griffin, right? So we have to Ash that. If they have the Random Mystery, you gotta give them props, right? Gotta give them props for having it. If they don't have it, then that's fine. They said 3. I'm like, oh my god, it's Eldritch Adventure probably, right? So we do Rhoda. Now's a good time to probably Rhoda. See if they have Ash, right? We're going to summon. Now here's options you have. Do you go down, since presumably set 3 more? If anytime someone sets more than like 2, I'm like, okay, it's probably Eldritch, right? So if we go down the adventure line, yeah, we can make token, the chain rivalry. I guess we can maybe search for the, you know, the flip, the Draco back, the flip back the rivalry, but they can just reset it anyways next turn. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think the better idea is to do Ray, and if they're stupid, to chain, you just summon, you know, that, and then rivalry we can still play with, because remember all of them are machines, so technically you can summon another machine if I remember correctly. So we're gonna banish this to see if they have Ash. They don't. We're gonna summon Ray. Enter battle immediately. We know that is not called by because they would have Ashed it, maybe, or hit the callback with Ash. They're gonna chain Volcano, and then here's Elixir. Sure. We're gonna summon Golden Boy and chain Droplet too, so it's free. But on the bright side, we can maybe Rad a Reminiscer, right? On the bright side, we could, if we choose down to go that path, because we know they don't have rivalry, and that's like our biggest problem, right? Right, you can do all that stuff. Main phase those. We're gonna go to Hornet Drones to summon Zeke, so we can attempt to banish it 1 turn. Right? You want to banish that? That's not a problem. Remember, you banish this, it's gonna go to graveyard, and they can reset another. Other card, you're gonna chain Veiler, sure. All right. So at this point, we could again go into the adventure time, right? But then we would probably flip this one back, and then they'll be able to send another card. We could chain Griffin, right? But they'll be able to draw another card and then do the thing again, maybe, right? So they choose not to, right? That's just my opinion. Maybe if we went down to different paths, it would have been like way easier. But I'm choosing going down this path for now, because for the moment, I mean, you know, they have to top deck something good for us to deal with it, right? And it's pure Eldritch, so it's probably fine. Well, Eldritch Adventure, right? Or so I thought. So we're actually playing Striker Eldritch Adventure. What an amazing combination, chat. And like I always say, if you mix something that's good with something that's also good, you're gonna probably make something garbage, right? It's like oil and water. Striker and Eldritch are literally oil and water. Don't mix it, right? Why neuter your strengths of each deck to make it like somehow work? So they're gonna go Green Ray, right? They know how to double dip, so that means I probably think they're good. I'm going Red Ray, however, we're playing hardcore into the Imperm. And remember, since they summoned it normally, that means that we can resummon it again with Shark Cannon, because it was properly summoned. If you summon Red Ray or any Link monster, you know, Sky Striker through Ray's tribute effect, you can't resummon it. I know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a children's card game, so they're gonna reset a bunch of garbage. I mean, cards. So sure, there's Conquistador. They're gonna search Engage, presumably, right? But now we know every card they have, and we can easily play around everything. Plus, remember that since they have Engage in hand, we don't get rid of anything in the main monster zone, they can't activate, and it's a dead card in their hand, right? So that's perfectly fine. We have so many options. So we do Afterburns again. Very underrated card if you're playing against something in the extra monster zone, and you have a Rosie O'Donnell engraved. So we're obviously going to search Engage. We know it's going to go through. We summon Rosie O'Donnell, or we can. I say we summon Red Ray first. Their Red Ray. Alright, Red Ray's going to add back Engage. So we have another free Engage. They're going to chain Conquistador for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. To pop it. That's the effect's going to go through. Right? So now we can, in Gag search multi-role. I guess you can also search something like, you know, Widow Anchor or whatever, right? That's another option that could go through. But I wanted to set up multi-role because, I mean, we know we don't want to get rid of anything here. We have to somehow get rid of that. A lot of options, right? But then we'll have no realistic follow-up, so I don't know. Either way is fine, right? We could have go Widow Anchors, steal, I guess, this one, right? Eldritch, and then they'll be able to send, and maybe that's bad because they can just activate Engage, pop off, go from there. So you have a lot of options, right? And to be honest, none of it matters unless you win, right? So we go into green ray, that's fine. Now we can get double dipping with that. Because we have Afterburns pop. Remember, here's where I start doubting they were actually good. Right? Because remember that Rose's effect is on summon, right? So you can't technically like chain to it or negate it with like Veiler or whatever. It's kind of like how people outed Dragoon back in the day. So you would out something, I guess, their Verde Anaconda with Afterburners and then resummon your Rosie O'Donnell to negate Dragoon or whatever, right? So now we obviously target Ray, but for some reason they chain Ray. So that's gonna get negated. It's the little things, right? So now we do token. Now we can set up Peter Griffin. Right? We don't need prosperity at this moment anymore. Everything's basically set up. We don't need to banish extra things we probably need. So activate that. Now here you go. What do you do, right? Do you flip this back so they can have another trap? Probably not. What we realistically want to do is somehow get rid of at least this thing somehow, and then maybe leave at least one monster on field so they're engaged as a dead card. Right? So we're gonna enter battle. We're gonna send Ray, because remember we know Ray in the graveyard, they got banished. We're gonna go to Zeke, we're gonna banish that for one turn. Right? Do that. Remember, again, I probably could have attacked like another one of these, so they can't go into like a rank 5 if they are playing it, right? But I really don't want them to set another one of these things, because remember, they all reset each other on the end phase, so they can reset another, let's say, like the Eldritch card, right? And that's annoying. We don't want to deal with that. Right? So that's fine. So we do that. We have double engaged, and I doubt there's any realistic way for them to OTK us. Realistically, right? Because if they summon, let's say, Golden Boy, that's 35. We're still barely alive. Pleiades, sure. Now their main monster zone's cleared, but they have to basically summon this for some reason. For some reason, they target Griffin. Remember, this is on quick effect, so that means either player's turn. So they basically just wasted it. And they just quit. See, I guess they were just so tilted from the Ray getting tribute effect, right? But again, I always reiterate, like the last person, right? Playing token collector. If your deck already is a very strong deck pure, you don't need to mix in some other garbage to dilute it. You know, again, oil and water. Sky Striker is, you know, a very pure, nice water deck, and then Eldritch is like a trash, fattening oil deck, right? You don't need to mix those two together. They don't go hand in hand. Adventure is different because technically it's not really a deck, it's an engine, right? But you don't need to mix decks together. It makes it like you're just they're not even covering each other's weakness and they're gonna conflict with each other. So anyways, enough toxic Thursday, Toxic Kevin here. Thanks for watching, truly appreciate it. Leave a like, comment, sub, I guess roast me from a place, whatever, I don't know. Bye bye. This is my outro song for free YouTube monies. Give me some likes and sub for me, please.